Hey everyone, it's Primer. With the update of Town Hall 14, I wanted to make a new Sui Lalo video. Sui Lalo has been completely buffed in this update, which I'm really happy about, through the addition of pets, because now the Sui can get a lot more value, and I'm even using it without an ice golem. So just to show you, this is what I have right now, and it's a combination that works the best for me. Of course, something else might work for you, but that's just for me. And in this video, I wanted to showcase my past 2 days of Legends hits. Yesterday I went perfect with plus 320, which was nice. Today, I will show you later what happened. So I'll be selecting a few attacks from each day. Like I'm not going to showcase all 16, that would be too long, that I thought was more instructive, that I could perhaps use as some teaching moments. And today I wanted to focus on planning. Specifically, if you're given 30 seconds, how can you force the Sui Lalo comp on any base? Right, and this would answer questions such as, where do I Sui? Where do I Lalo? How do I find the plan? Where should I blimp? Where should I use a slammer? And so on and so forth. So hopefully by the end of this video, you get a feel for perhaps looking at a base and seeing a nice Sui Lalo plan for it. So let's jump right into the first base. I'm hitting Jerusalem here, and we have some sort of teaser base. For teaser bases, I have two specific plans that can work on the base, and you should always consider both and ask yourself which is better. The first type of plan is to Sui for the Town Hall. Right, that means you try to take out the stuff that's reachable right around here, and then Lalo through the rest of it. Most cases, this plan usually does not work. And the reason being, there's often very heavy, like high DPS and high HP defenses right here, which are not, which you cannot Sui. And the issue is, if you imagine like an Inferno here or a Scatter here or so on and so forth, nothing is going to path to it, right? If you draw your Lalo pathing, you need everything to go through your multi, so you do something like this. And then nothing will go to whatever's right behind the Town Hall, right? And if you do decide to try to force a funnel shape here, then you've got way too much stuff here that you have to take out with your secondary grips. So this is the reason why, right? Because the pathing is very bad. Right? If you, again, imagine like a Scatter and so on here, and if you draw the pathing in the base, it looks a bit like this, which is not ideal for Lalo. So generally, you don't do this. Okay, so for this base, that's not the case because we only have the Archer Tower here. And so with that, we don't need to worry too much about that problem. So suing that to Town Hall seems like a pretty decent plan then. But let's still consider the other possibility, which is maybe suing something like this. Right? If we can try to Sui for the Eagle and then use the RC for the multi, we can get value like this. We cannot expect to get the multi with our Sui because it's not reachable, even with 2 wall breaks. And so what's left with our Lalo? If we take out this stuff, the shape of the base looks a bit like this, which looks very awkward. Because if you were to store a Lalo on this side, you'd have to draw a funnel shape like this, which completely misses the multi. You'd have to blimp the multi here, which is not too ideal, especially since you would ideally want to save your blimp or slammer for the Town Hall. And so in this case, I'm not too big of a fan of it because this core multi is quite annoying. So in this case, what I opted to do instead was just to Sui the Town Hall. Again, because we don't have issues here. If I take out the Town Hall here, everything is reachable. I can even use 2 Skelly spells because I'm not going to use the Skelly spells anywhere else. So why not just use it to tank the Sui and see how much value you can get using the RC as well. And even if I don't get one of the scatters down, I can use the slam for the other one. So okay, I managed to take out the right scatter but not the left, so I can start my slammer there and directly target it, which is perfectly fine. Now if we do pause here and look at the pathing of this base, we do need to get this multi down, right? Because this is a core target, we don't want everything to path around it. This would mean we have to draw our funnel shape through the multi. The first thing that should jump in your mind, again, is that these defenses are outside the funnel shape. And there's a lot of them, right? There's a lot of defenses. This means that we need a really heavy secondary group of balloons that we deploy pretty early So by the time this eagle is down, the loons are here, right? If the loons are here and the eagle's not down, then the loons are going to go to the eagle, which is bad. So we have to time them and drop our secondary groups pretty early and be really heavy. So I'm actually going pretty light with my main group so I can send so many secondary groups to push through the eagle. I do fall short at 1 o'clock here, which is why the loons directly retarget, right? That's bad. This is also why I probably need to save a few loons here, because if I didn't, as you can see what happened, the defense stayed up, so my main group got distracted and went here. So that's again what you don't want. In this case, it worked out in the end, but that's always something to consider in the future. So this is a triple, and we can go on to the next base. Okay, so our next base, which I selected, is against Jerome, and this is a ring base. With ring bases, you have two possibilities. Number one, you can take out two sections of the base and then Lalo straight into the town hall. This would mean a very wide Lalo shape through the town hall, something like this. You can also do the same thing on the other side, right? You can try Sui here and here, and then Lalo here. Now in this case, it's a bit worse because you have dead zones here. And I actually want to talk about this. Notice this dead zone right here, and that my funnel shape is going through this dead zone. You really want to avoid this. When you have a base here, right? Imagine you have a base, and now imagine there's a dead zone right over here. So very simplified base shape. How would I want to do a Sui Lalo on this? If I drew a funnel shape right through the dead zone, this is very bad. Because the dead zone means the loons don't go around it, so this loons take this really weird path, and it's very awkward for the Lalo, right? This dead zone is going to really hurt your Lalo path, and so generally you do not want to draw your funnel shape through a large dead zone. Instead, you want to utilize these dead zones to help your funnel shape. Those dead zones should provide a way so your loons stay in the funnel shape rather than go out of it. So instead of following through a dead zone, what you should do is try to find a plan that utilizes dead zone. For example, if you took out maybe this portion of the base and here, now take a look at this plan right here. I can send funnel shape right through here, and this dead zone is helping my Lalo, not hurting it. So that's always something to consider. Now if we go back into our base here, we've got dead zones here and here. Or maybe like this. So we really want to avoid these dead zones and actually use them to help us. So the reason I don't really like the Sui plan for here and here is because I cannot reasonably expect my Sui to get this much value, especially the RC. It's possible, but my RC will be headed towards the CC pretty early, and I wouldn't be able to kill the single, which is quite annoying for my Lalo, and for some other reasons as well. And also the sweeper is pretty annoying, it's pushing this way, so I don't really like it. And again, even if you Sui into this side, the game is again the same. Some of the similar problems arise, especially since it's even worse because at least the scatter can help push your Lalo in. In this case, there is a dead zone even here, which is pretty bad for your Lalo. Again, you don't really want to be Laloing like this, and so it's kind of awkward, right? This is where your dead zones are kind of working against you rather than for you. So the second plan for ring bases that you can consider is you can try to use a larger Sui, including an RC, to take out one side, blimp the town hall, and then utilize the dead zones by doing some sort of rotational Lalo. Or if you can draw a plan like this, I mean, it's not really a funnel shape, something like this, I guess, right? Through this space where you blimp the town hall. So in this case, by blimping the town hall, the dead zones kind of help you, and you get this rotational Lalo that works well. So the reason I decided to Sui for the eagle is because pretty much any Sui works. I just don't Sui for the CC because there's not too much value here and the CC will be really annoying. So I just Sui completely opposite from the CC. Right here, Suing for the king is possible, but a little annoying. Here is possible as well, but this wall segment makes it a little annoying. So I'm going to try to Sui for this gap and get some more value. And again, with the addition of the pets, the Sui generally does get a lot more value than at Town Hall 13, which is nice. Always using the RC alongside the Sui rather than right onto it. Again, in this case, the RC can help take out the scatter, which is really nice. So there is this part. Again, blimping the town hall. We'll definitely need to rage this. and that's fine. And now you see the really nice funnel shape here, which I'm drawing pretty thin, so I don't need too many secondary groups of loons, and it's pretty, I drop them anyway because it's a little thicker here, so I'm gonna try to push everything in to keep this funnel shape pretty compact. So there is the nice triple, and we can go on to the next base. So next base I prepared, I think, is for gnats. So this space is quite interesting. Again, 2 dead zones immediately should pop in your mind. Here and here, and also the sweeper locations. With that out of the way, let's consider the different Sui entries. We always want to find Sui entries that are number 1, easy to funnel, and 2, are pretty predictable in what value we'll get. Yes, we could try to Sui 1 o'clock, but so many things can go wrong. It's first very difficult to funnel a Sui to take out the scatter, and the wall breaks are quite difficult. Right? Wall breaks should be conducive to your Sui. If you cannot find a good wall break that will open up the correct walls, then it's probably not a good idea to Sui there. So that's why I would not Sui 1 o'clock. If we did Sui something like Eagle, yes, it's a bit easier, but let's consider the pathing. If we take out this stuff, the rest of the base looks pretty bad. We have this dead zone, so laloing like this looks kind of atrocious through 2 dead zones actually, and we don't know how to clear this stuff. There's no way we'll be able to get our secondary groups to take out that stuff, so that's bad. And we can't Sui like this either, because we can't take out the scatters, right? A blimp's not going to take both of them, and it's just not good, especially with all the stuff here I had to take out, and then yeah, that's the main reason why. So let's not Sui into the Eagle as well. And finally, our last option is into the Town Hall. And generally speaking, a Sui into the Town Hall is very good value. So if the Lalo pathing is decent after you Sui into the Town Hall, it's generally a good idea to just try it, because in most cases it'll work. The Warden ability is much preferred to use over loons that are not slowed down through the Town Hall Blast. So it's a lot better to try to Sui the Town Hall and save the tome for loons through the core and so on. So we do Sui the Town Hall. We'll have to take a look at the rest of the base. Right? It looks a little odd at first. And perhaps one thing to consider, when you're looking at these types of bases, so you always have to identify the most problematic defenses. Right? These are defenses that will cause the most trouble if they're not taken down. In this case, it's the core scatter. We need to take that down some way. And if we don't, we're screwed. Always identify this. So in this case, we can try to blimp it. Right, maybe we can try to do some Lalo here and blimp the scatter. But it looks very awkward because we have to delay the blimp so much that the Lalo is tanking for the blimp. And then we send our blimp. But by then, this core scatter will just have been beaten on all our loons. And the loons will probably be dead by the time the blimp makes it. So that's no good. We do actually need to Lalo into that scatter. This means we have to adjust our funnel shape to go through the scatter and look something like this. And of course, the alarm bell should be ringing in your head that we have a lot of defenses that are outside this funnel shape, right? All this stuff. They need to be taken out early, right? Before this Sui makes it, or before the Lalo makes it here, these defenses must be down already. So yes, we could consider using a secondary group. That's one option that could probably work. In this case, I had a slammer as well, so I'm like, okay, there's not really any other place to use a slammer. Can I try to use a slammer instead of secondary groups to take out that? Now a naked slammer won't do that, it just will die pretty quickly. But if I can send a hound with the slammer, that might do the trick. Right? And I've actually been experimenting a lot with using a hound with the slammer, and if on an area where there is an air defense but not a single, that's actually a pretty good idea, and it works pretty well. Again, also inspired by Yo-Yo from Alternate Attacks. But if we watch this replay, that's exactly what I do. So I Sui for the Town Hall, and there are some Teslas that pop up. My wall break does work, I think, which is fine. So that's nice. And baby drag for funnel. But this doesn't go down from the wizard, which is a problem because now the king walks. And yeah, this is not ideal. But anyways, I still get the value, so that's okay. So now again, if you watch this, I need to drop my slammer very early to take out this stuff. So by the time the scatter is down, I can form the funnel shape here and the loons go into the scatter. And now I do rage the loons coming out of the scatter to make sure my Lalo actually goes in. And after that, it's fine. my main group again stays in the funnel shape, which is exactly what we need. And again, as a general tip, if your loons are not staying in the funnel shape, then your secondary groups have some problems. So watch your attack again and figure out what you're doing wrong with your secondary groups. Maybe they're too early, maybe they're too late, and so on. Okay, so our next attack, or the next attack I'd like to show, is against Zaman. So in this space, it's quite weird. We've got this isolated town hall with a dead zone. So again, we generally will try to avoid Laloing through dead zones, which means we'd probably want to either Sui the town hall or use a blimp or a slimer for the town hall. So in this case, I notice a bit of a weakness where since there's barely any DPS, I don't even need a full Sui to take out the town hall. If I use the Skelly spell to tank for the queen and king, and then just use my queen, it can take out the town pretty easily. So that's nice. And then I have the king and RC to help with my funnel shape and then drop a Lalo. So I'm just going to play this portion of the attack first, and then I'll show you what I mean. So I'm trying to use the king and RC specifically to take out the multi-compartment, but actually that fails because the RC goes into the expo instead of the multi. So if we pause this attack now, here's when there are some problems, right? Now I'm trying to recover. Okay, so we've got 3 multis and 2 scatters up and this really, really weird path. Is there any way we can put a funnel shape here? And the answer actually is yes. This multi needs to go down really quickly, and I don't want to send loons for it because they're just going to die immediately. So I'm just going to send a slammer here. And the slammer is going to go to the wizard tower. It's going to tank for the scatter, so that's nice. Meanwhile, I've got this sort of shape. If what I did was, okay, I need my loons to go through the 2 scatters and multi. What if I drew a really small funnel shape like this? And again, remember the multi is down from the slammer. Then what I can do is kind of have like another main group of sorts along this side to force everything in here. So if you've got loons coming here, loons coming here, and everything converges on this side. Right? If you want to kind of follow the textbook definition of the main group, you can perhaps technically define this as the main group, and then have a really, really large secondary group of loons here, taking out the scatter, multi-air defense, and so on. But again, the distinction doesn't matter too much. The idea is I need my loons to stay here, so that means I have to take out these defenses to really make sure all the loons converge onto the core multi. So that's what I do here. I have my smaller main group, and then I have a really wide secondary group that deploy pretty early so that everything converges onto the scatter. And I probably could have sent my secondary groups even earlier, but it works out pretty well. And so this is the triple. Okay, so let's go on to the next base. This attack I've prepared is against Nene. And again, once we have these teaser bases again. So we have 2 plans, right? We can Sui this side, try to Lalo in the town hall, or we can try to Sui the town hall and Lalo around here. So again, let's talk about the 2 plans. In this case, if I Sui the town hall, I'm not going to get the scatter. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. Your Lalo's never going to path into the scatter. And so the scatter's just going to be beating on your loons and nothing's going to take it. So it's a huge problem. Right? Even if you just take it to town hall, just look at the shape of the base. It's pretty atrocious. It's pretty atrocious. You've got dead zones here, dead zones here. Oh man, this is pretty terrible. So I would never recommend this plan for Lalo. Which means, okay, that means we try to do the other plan where we try to Sui like here and we try to Lalo around. And so in this case, I thought it'd be pretty cool. I came up with a cool idea. I noticed that the bomb tower and mortar could be one shot by the RC. Meaning if I'm Suing this side and then I drop my RC here, I pop my RC ability here. The RC will go to the scatter, even my Sui does not get to the scatter. And then the RC will go to the sweeper and then the multi. So that was a pretty cool idea, which worked out well. All right, if you watch here, again, I'm using my Skelly spells early because there's nowhere else I need to use my Skelly spells, so I don't need to save them to take out the king or the queen, or the queen or the RC because the Sui will take it out anyways. So I'm just going to use it here. I do use a loon early on to lure air CC because I'd rather deal it with the Sui rather than deal with it in my Lalo. So now the RC is doing a great job using an invis to keep the RC alive. I'm raging to make sure the RC actually gets the multi, and now the Lalo path is great. And here, I'm actually deciding to save a blimp for the town hall. The reason being, this town hall is very awkward, right? I can try to tome over the town hall, which means I draw my funnel shape like right through the town hall. But then I've also got these defenses over here, which I'm not doing anything for. So what I'm planning is, okay, I'm going to blimp the town hall. I don't want it to be part of my funnel shape. Therefore, I can get my funnel shape to keep going around the town hall and into these defenses at 11 and 10 o'clock. This also means I get to tome by the scatter. So again, the thing you should want to ask yourself is, do I want my funnel shape to include a town hall? Like, is it natural? If not, then maybe consider blimping or using a slammer for town hall, so you can use your tome somewhere else and keep your funnel shape away from the town hall. So that's what I did here, and it worked well. Let's go on to the next base, which is against DG. This base, I already had a nice plan for because Yo-Yo hit the space as well, and the Legends hit with Sui Lalo, so I had a pretty good idea of what I wanted to do. In this case, the major thing to notice is the dead zone, right? Again, we have this dead zone here, which means, can we try to use this dead zone to help us? Well, we can try to Sui around the dead zone and then utilize the dead zone to draw a funnel shape on the other side. Probably the main thing to pop up, the main thing that should pop up in your head is, okay, why not the town hall? Wall break looks weird, but if I can wall break once here, and then get the second wall break to go for the other air defense, then I can die right here, which is what I want. So I can open up the Sui to the town hall. Now if I can deal the CC, I can use the RC for the multi. All right, that's pretty nice. Now what's left with the base? Well, I've got something that looks like this. And it looks a little weird at first. I do notice that there's not much DPS at all, so a slammer is pretty perfect here. It won't die, I don't need a hound. So a slammer takes up this stuff, goes around here, tanks the scatter, and heads towards the scatter. Now if we draw a funnel shape, we do need our loons to go to the multi. So we'll draw out something like this. And I really need to push everything to the multi. So actually what I decided to do, and maybe I'll show you later, is I'm sending my secondary groups first here to get started on these defenses before I drop my main group. So I can really guarantee that these defenses are down so the main group actually goes towards the multi, and of course some more secondary groups here. So that was the plan here. And if you watch it, it works out pretty well. Again, wall break here and then wall break here. And if you find that you cannot find a good wall break for the base, again, consider trying a different entry because you must get your wall break in. If your wall break doesn't work, or if you can't figure out a way how to open up the walls, then your Sui is just not going to go in and it's just not going to work. So in this case, I killed the CC, my RC gets the multi, this is great. I don't kill any either here, I think, but that's fine. I do have a Skelly spell and 2 headhunters. The slammer comes in, that's nice. And now just pay attention to the Lalo. Again, I'm dropping the Lalo first here, really forcing everything in, and then the main group comes in. I rage because it's really good value through all these Teslas and the Eagle and the Expos, and I'm forcing everything towards the multi. Of course, Warden through the scatter as well. The 2 headhunters join to kill the Queen under rage, and it's pretty much crushed. Not the best haste spell placement, but it works out pretty well, so it doesn't matter too much. So this is a nice triple, and we can go on to the next base. This one is going to be against Baby Alien. We have, again, one of these teaser bases here. So we have two options again. We Sui here, Lalo into the town hall at the end, or Sui into the town hall and Lalo around. So if we Sui into the town hall, or we can get all this stuff, that's fine. But again, take a look at these defenses right here. They're so problematic. There's no way my Lalo will ever get to them. And for that reason, that's why I'm going to use the other play. Or I'm just going to, again, Lalo, I'm going to Sui into this side. I'm trying to get into dead zone, and then I can just end on the town hall, which is totally fine. Right, the pathing is great. If I can take out this stuff, look at the Lalo. It's perfect. So I'm not going to commentate too much on this attack. Just going to fast forward. My Sui breaks in. Not the cleanest, but it works out well. And Queen takes up the Eagle and air defense, so it's a perfect place to use a slammer again. And so in this case, my secondary groups here are actually a bit early. Watch that. You'll notice that the secondary groups die pretty early because they kind of get ahead of the main group instead of merging with them, which is not ideal. So that's something to consider. But here, you have two slammers in Town Hall, but you can just keep freezing them, rage through both heroes, and it's kind of wrecked. So yeah, you don't need to be too scared about like all that DPS because a tome can solve all those problems. Okay, so next base is the fail. The fail. This was my very last hit of today. I had 15 triples in a row, and I was looking forward to end the day with a double perfect. But just watch what happens. I try to do the same idea, right? Just cut off one area. I'm trying to go for this, both the scatter and multi, blimp the town hall, and then Lalo around. However, unfortunately, I make one too many mistakes, which costs the attack. It starts off okay. The king dies pretty early, which is not ideal. So my queen, and also a really annoying CC, which just wrecks my queen with the goblins, which means my queen doesn't get the multi and scatter. So a great CC from Eason, because now I'm kind of screwed. The scatter proves very annoying, as you see. I go a little too heavy on my main group because I don't have enough secondary groups. And in this case, my warden is not great. My scatter already took like 2 shots off my loons, and it's too wide here. I needed loons on this side to push everything in, and so everything kind of just dies out, which is kind of sad. I was pretty disappointed after this hit, but oh well. Maybe next day I'll get another perfect. That would be nice. But here is the end of the different attacks I'm showing. I hope that was helpful. My next video will be a beginner's guide on how to funnel the Sui. Today we talk about where to Sui. Next time we'll talk about exactly how to funnel. And so I'm going to go through a very, very in-depth guide. I think it's like 4 steps with the flowchart and everything. So hopefully you guys look forward to that whenever I get around to making it. But again, I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, leave a comment below. And bye-bye.